This is the Greg Bedard Patriots podcast with Nick Cattles.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Greg Bedard Patriots podcast. I am here solo on Christmas Eve before I go into Felger and Maz, but wanted to get this out to you guys to learn a little bit of something about the Patriots game on Sunday against the Bills. Before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. And Naterno Home Services is my home comfort company. If you're looking for a team that puts your comfort first, visit naternohome.com/Bedard. That's NOTTURNO home.com/Bedard for 10% off your next service. It could save you up to $1,000. Better get moving on that. Don't know how much longer it's going to last. Big picture, sort of where are we? Patriots, as we know, ended up losing to the Bills by 3 points, 24-21 on a frigid night in Buffalo. I guess the most immediate thing is, okay, well, what does this do about Gerod Mayo? Well, Gerod Mayo and his future. To me, that kind of showing basically solidified, if not guaranteed, that he's back for year two. You can think of that however you want to. I try to remove myself from this. I think everybody knows my thoughts on Mayo. Again, just to reiterate, I think he might make a fine head coach someday. I just think he wasn't ready for this job. And I don't think it's a job that you can grow into. I think you need to be ready for it. I don't think he was ready for this. I don't care if it was ahead of schedule. It wasn't planned this way. It's not his fault. The Crafts put him in this position. And I think, Sunday against Buffalo was good and bad for Gerod, quite frankly. I thought the second half, the first half, we saw they came out aggressive. Offense looked great. Got 2 touchdowns. The defense did enough against Josh Allen. We'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But a lot of what we were asking, or certainly what I was asking of this team, what I wanted to see was be a pain in the ass, especially for teams in the division, which they hadn't done. I mean, I think in their first 2 matchups, first time they saw them, Aaron Rodgers and Tua Tagovailoa, I think the Patriots fell behind a collective 55-3, something like that. So to do this against the Bills was good. This is what you should do. I mean, look at what the Carolina Panthers have been doing for about the last 6-7 weeks. Hasn't always been perfect, of course, but for the most part, they've been a pain in the ass. Bryce Young's looked pretty good. If they're not winning games, they're giving really good teams all they can handle, and that's what you're looking for. You could see them building. Before Sunday, I think that was very much in question about this team, and why I think Gerod Mayo's future was in focus, and I think rightfully so. About Mayo on Sunday, I thought, with a fake punt in the first half, I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but, and I wrote this on BSJ on Sunday. And by the way, I should also mention, I wrote an open letter to Robert and Jonathan on Sunday morning. That's open to everybody. You can go to BSJ and find that. The first half, to me, looked like a head coach and a coaching staff with a sense of urgency, like they were feeling the pressure to perform, show something before, say, midpoint of 2025. The whole talk about Mayo is going to be better in year 2 and all that bullcrap that I didn't like hearing. Nobody cares about next year. Everybody cares about the next game. You have a chance to accomplish something every week in the NFL, especially if you're trying to establish a program and a culture. And I thought that Mayo didn't have any urgency with that. And I think it filtered down to the coaches and it filtered down to the players. You could say that on Sunday, it looked like a group from Alex Van Pelt, DeMarcus Covington, Mayo even, that was coaching for their jobs. And if that was indeed the case, good. About time. Second half, completely different side of the coin for me. To me, I'm just telling you what it looked like. I'm not telling you I heard this from anybody, but to me, it looked like a head coach, if not the entire coaching staff, that looked like they accomplished something in the first half and were kind of just trying to make it look good. And this is not just a criticism of Mayo only, because I'm sure many of you recall, I've said the same thing about Bill towards the end of his tenure. There was a game against the Bills where I ripped the game plan against them. There was a game against the Chiefs last year where it looked like they were just trying to not get blown out. So this isn't Mayo specific. I thought that Mayo in the second half looked like he just wanted to keep it close. And I think that that decision to punt with like 8:38 left was just utterly ridiculous. And proof of that, playing quote unquote game field position against the Bills team that you never forced to go 3 and out the whole day. I thought it was a recipe to lose the game. I thought the decision to onside kick was also colossally stupid. You had all 3 timeouts. You only needed a field goal. Your best bet, and look, I know it's not a high percentage chance with Josh Allen out there and his ability to run in short yardage situations, but if you're trying to win the game there, you're trying to force overtime, you kick the ball off and you sell out on defense and you try to get the ball back maybe around your own 40 or something. Couple plays, you're in field goal range. So I just did not understand that. Also, about Mayo sort of coaching to preserve his job, I thought what we heard out of him in the post-game press conference was an offshoot of that. To me, it looked like somebody got to him, maybe at the ownership level, and basically said, you need to show something on Sunday. We cannot afford to get blown out against the Bills. And also, you need to stop stepping in it in press conferences. Say less, say much less, and don't have to walk something back on Monday. And it looked like Mayo went out there trying to accomplish those goals, and I would say he's successful and, probably assured himself of a second year at least. One thing I wanted to touch on in the wake of the game, I think everybody heard Drake Maye. He was some of the question. Drake Maye and Hunter Henry, they were asked about their coaches, about Mayo. Maye gave some sort of comment about, I think it's BS. First of all, the good portion of his comment, to me, it reinforced that he is loyal and that anyone in a foxhole with him, whether it's his coaches, whether it's his teammates, his receivers, he's going to have their back in that particular season, that particular stretch of games. I think that's a great, and it's great and another good sign for his leadership chops going forward. However, but with all due respect, I don't give a crap about Drake Maye's opinion about Gerod Mayo, and it should not bear any weight on anything about his job status. Probably does, because I think Robert Kraft at this point is an overly sentimental owner and no longer looks at things critically. He looks at things, out of ego and, wanting to prove himself. But back to Drake. Look, he's 22 years old. He's a rookie. He's won 1 game this year. And between Mac Brown and Gerod Mayo, quite frankly, Drake Maye has no idea what good football coaching might look like. Related to this, when of course the reaction about Drake Maye's comments was, vindication of Gerod, and look at this. And it means Gerod's doing X, Y, and Z, which, I totally dismiss. I said to myself, I wonder what Justin Herbert had to say about Brandon Staley. And I looked back. This was not even after the game. This was the day after the Chargers suffered the third largest collapse in postseason history. Remember, they were up 27-0 on the Jaguars and fell 31-30. This was the next day. Justin Herbert said, everyone would be lucky to have a coach like Staley. He's been an incredible leader and has the respect of everyone on our team. He's genuine, he's himself, and he has been the same person for 2 years. Great. And who knows, maybe that swayed the Spanoses. That turned out ultimately to be a not very bright decision. Staley was retained after that year, despite all the evidence that he wasn't up to the job. And like Mayo, a defensive head coach, unlike Mayo, he goes forward on every fourth down, but that doesn't really matter here. Staley was retained, brought back for the 2023 season, and he was fired with a record of 5-9. So, long story short, I don't care what players say. I don't care what players say about coaches. It bears no weight to me on the situation. It's not accurate. I expect them. I don't expect the guy to come out, especially a first-year coach. Maybe year 2, year 3, you might hear some different things at the podium, but to me, it means nothing. And so that's where I am on that. Prize Picks is the best way to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made the daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. I love it. I'll be using it on Christmas Day. And by the way, speaking of Christmas Day, make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Join now, because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. On Christmas Day, if Jokic, he only needs 1 point for you to win one square. This week is the 7 days of Picksmas, while Prize Picks is giving you a shot at $1 million along with daily rewards for just playing. Download the app today to use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Let's deal with the Patriots offense against the Bills defense. The Bills have not been great on defense. Their stats over the previous 4 games were horrible. They were down 4 starters on defense, and I think it showed. They were not good in this game. They had a tough time against the run. They had a tough time against Drake Maye. But my big sort of, 10,000-foot takeaway on this is I know he had the pick. I know we'll talk about the lateral in a second. But to me, I thought this was a very positive game for Drake Maye. I mean, I went into this game not knowing, can he hold on to the ball in the cold? How's he going to do in Buffalo? But to come out the way that he did, and I got to tell you, the Bills threw the kitchen sink at Drake Maye. I mean, they came out hot and heavy from the get-go. For the whole game, I have them they went all-out blitz, or at least rush 6. 10 times in this game. That's absurd. The Bills never blitz, and they sent guys. May dealt with it all the time. I thought he was really good in the first half. Second half was a little bit of a struggle, but still, he graded out slightly positive for me in this game. It was sort of like a 50-50 game for him. The interception, in my mind, was a pass that should have been thrown out of the back of the end zone. He rushed it There was pressure on him. Michael went to a lot of pressure on that play, and he thought Cooper was going to go flat. Cooper went to the flag. Where they were, the 16-yard line of Buffalo, down 3, you just can't afford a turnover there. But, largely I'm not and, the lateral to me it was shared between Alex Van Pelt, DeMontre Jacobs, and Drake Maye. That play never should have been called in that situation. Too many things had to go right, starting with DeMontre Jacobs cutting an athletic end like Gregory Rousseau. I mean, Rousseau could have just ran up the field. That's like a 50-50 proposition anyways, as far as DeMontre making that, on that, in that field, in that environment, probably went down even less. Maye and Stevenson have to sync up their drops, so that's not a lateral. Does Maye sort of need to see Rousseau? It was tough timing. I mean, I'm not going to say that Maye definitely should have seen him there and not thrown the pass. It's a tough play. But in that situation, you got to look, is the end cut or not? If he's not, rifle the ball out of bounds. So that was rough. But, largely I'm still of the mindset where I'm not too bothered by Drake Maye's turnovers. I just think he's going to learn from it. He's going to learn from both plays, and he's going to be good going forward. But largely for the whole game in that environment, I thought it was a very positive result. Now we know that Drake Maye can go up there in the toughest of conditions and play well. And in some respects, you might say outplayed Josh Allen. I thought that Alex Van Pelt created a lot of pressure in this game, especially not helping out DeMontre Jacobs like ever in the game. I thought the offensive line was good for the most part. Maye brought pressure on himself. I would say I think it was between the team, and a lot of that is scheme. That they just can't block them, or guys are free, running free. I mean, that's not the responsibility of anybody. So between the team and Drake Maye, they accounted for half the pressure in this game. And there was a lot of pressure, but that's just the sort of the way things went. So we will talk about the defense in 1 second. You got to get out to a game. Chargers game is coming up. I think the weather's going to be pretty good. You got to go to Game Time. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I love the all-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. Last time I looked, you could get in the Chargers game in the lower bowl for $113 all in. You never see that. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The defense. I'm not over the moon about the defensive performance. To me, there were a couple things at play in this game. Look, I'm happy that they had an approach. Which was basically, we're not going to let Josh Allen run all over the place. They spied him a lot. Most of the time, they had good rush integrity. They weren't going to give up the big plays. But, for me, I thought their performance has been overrated by some from what I've heard about it. First of all, the Bills had 3 huge drops in the game. I thought Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, abandoned the run too much. They could have run all day if they wanted to and never passed. And quite frankly, I thought Josh Allen played terrible. This was not about – the Patriots did play good coverage, and they played a lot of man coverage, and we've talked about that before. They play their best defense when they play man coverage. But I counted what did I have him for? I thought that it was a letdown game for him, maybe not for the Bills as a whole, but considering the schedule, he was also, hurt a little bit. But to me, early on especially, he was looking for the knockout punch with his crappy weapons. He does not have good weapons. He was looking deep way too much. This is something that he had graduated from and why he's become so good, where he just, reads the defense and takes the checkdowns. He did not do that all day. I tabulated Allen for 10 minus plays in this game, plays that were there that he didn't make. Add in the drops. I thought Josh Allen left a lot of plays on the field. Solid job, better approach from DeMarcus Covington. But I did want to point out one thing. By the way, we got another horrible defensive call for DeMarcus Covington at the 14:27 mark of the fourth quarter, with Buffalo up by 3. On 1st and 16, Covington sent a rare blitz, and that's when Khalil Shakir was wide open coming across the field when Jonathan Jones caught up and punched the ball out. That was just a horrible call in that situation. I don't know why you would do that. It's 1st and 16. So that's my view on the defense, big picture stuff. I do want to tell you, when it comes to keeping my home comfortable this winter, there's nothing more important than having a reliable team to handle things like heating, cooling, and plumbing. That's why I'm so glad I worked with Noturno Home Services. These guys are local, they are family-owned, family-focused, and have been serving the greater Boston area for 15 years. I knew my heating system was on its way out. It was aging and struggling to keep up. When it finally gave out, I needed a new part to keep things running before the whole system could be replaced. Well, Noturno came through in a big way. They replaced that pump that day, free of charge, giving me heat for 3 more days until they installed my system. Who does that? Nobody but Noturno. They were on time, professional. They made the entire process stress-free. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Noturno isn't just about heating. They're my go-to for plumbing, cooling, even water and air quality solutions. They've got the expertise to handle whatever your home needs. Here's the best part. You can get 10% off your next service with Noturno. That could save you up to $1,000 on your next project. Just visit noturnohome.com/Bedard. That's NOTTURNO home.com/Bedard for all details and conditions. Take advantage now before the end of the year. These deals won't last forever. Trust me, having a team like Noturno Home Services in your corner makes all the difference. Whether you need a quick repair or a major installation, they'll get the job done right. Check them out today. I trust Noturno Home Services. You should too. Real quick, wanted to give you my I closed things I liked, things I didn't like. Let's see. Things I liked. We'll avoid the running backs. I thought Austin Hooper was sensational in this game, especially with his run blocking. That catch over the middle was awesome. I thought Ben Brown, clean sheet. Michael Wenu, just one quarterback pressure, one stuff. And Vidarian Lowe were all really good in this game. I also thought Booty was really good. Bourne was good. And that's it offensively. Defensively, not a whole lot. Jeremiah Farms was awesome in this game. I thought Tavai was good. Jonathan Jones, Christian Gonzalez, Kyle Duggar had his best game in weeks, and Marte Mapu wasn't quite as good as everybody said. Things I did not like in this game. Nobody really among the pass catchers. Layden Robinson was okay. DeMontre Jacobs, not good. Could have used some help there. Defensively, I thought Anthony Jennings was absolutely horrible with missed tackles. The edge. Sion Taki had a big minus. Alex Austin, I think he got benched at one point. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to point out the big touchdown run by the Bills was because Kyle Duggar was not in the right place and was kind of lazy, flowing with the play, and then Marte Mapu took a bad angle and didn't make the play. That should not have happened again, but we've seen this before. Okay, that's going to be it for me. Thanks, everybody. Have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, all that stuff, and we will see you later in the week.